Hey, good morning, Kareem. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, you too. So market report, it's Friday, March 27th, end of a pretty busy week. I called our office this morning. I talked to our principal broker and I was asking him, tell me a little bit about some of the stories that I might not have heard of people, why are they in the market right now? Like, why are buyers buying, why are sellers selling? Because I think there's a little noise around, like, we really want the market to stop. And then we also, at the same time, are needing to serve some people with some really critical needs. So putting some procedures and policies in place. And he was telling me that a few of the things that I was unaware of is that that we had banks that were the seller getting demise from the lender. So basically the lender saying, listen, if you're not making payments, then you need to sell. So they already came into this crisis in a point with their lender where they were behind payments and the lender is not giving them any more time to be in the house and said, you have to get out. So we, as an agency, our agent was put in a position that, to really do right by this seller and cooperate was to get them on the market. So these are the type of things he's seeing right now, kind of stories of some of the sellers and buyers who critically need somewhere to live that are still out there active. How about you? What are your buyers and sellers look like this week?
We have two listings hitting today. Both of them hit this morning. We have one buyer who is a single parent with a child half-time and has had a roommate at his house for a while. This was the house that the family, so it's a post-divorce situation. They've been separated for a while now. It's been a year or so, but he had a limited amount of time that he could swing it by himself and knew he was going to need to sell the house, so he's selling it. It's not an overnight sort of urgent affair, but it's like, life changes kind of thing, normal life changes. The other one is a couple that are both shifting their career, and she has some health problems and they're going south to California to live with her parents for a while. So again, this like normal life transition time.
Yeah.
Neither of these stories would be all that interesting they're interesting, but they're not like super unique situations of the kind of stuff we run into all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, and you can see where for some of us that are at home and comfortable and able to press pause, the type of emotional strain that can put on some people right now and financial instability. Yeah. I was talking to another independent brokerage owner here in Portland today. So just kind of going back here to some of my notes, and they also trying to halt all business that was possible go entirely virtual. And they, like us, have experienced, sellers really pressing that, like, I don't want to put myself at a disadvantage to not allow a buyer to get in here at all. And so having to, another layer on top of the business that we're doing right now is having to make these case by case exceptions. And it's a lot of processing. It's just like a lot of processing, a lot of judgment to use. And
I can speak to actually like allowing showings into these listings today. So I've been on the phone vetting or scrubbing, for the right kinds of showings. And that's something that, a month ago, like, show away. Let's make it as easy as possible for everybody in the horde to get in, right? That's the whole point of the marketing effort. And today what I'm doing is, again, really scrubbing, like are your buyers pre-approved is one scrubbing question, but deeper than that, tell me this story. Tell me your buyers are have eagerly looked at Google Maps or driven by. Tell me your buyers have been looking in this area and understand it. Tell me your buyers are pre-approved, that you have a relationship with them, that you understand what they're looking for, that you can help vet them. Are they real? Are they serious? And then some of that is, have they looked at our online? So we have like gorgeous photography, 2020 or whatever, that shows the story. Then we have a iPhone video walkthrough, right? And this video walkthrough is purposefully there in order to create the like stringing together of the photos to show what it's like to walk through the home. And then we have a 360 interactive virtual tour, and that is in room looking you can sort of look around like you're in a whatever it's called, you know, like a planetarium or whatever. Look around the room, up, down, and sideways, see the flooring and the walls and the art and, you know, and these are there to scrub. These are there to get buyers the deepest impression they can have virtually without actually going in the home, so that those who tour have been vetted, you know. And the calls I'm making today, an interesting thing I mentioned this earlier was we had a call from an agent in an agency that is primarily all web-based interactive, you know, like that, like, and it's a huge agency. We all know who it is. Yeah. And they, and so the client, so the showing assistant or the scheduling assistant calls for showing, and this is normal protocol. And they just text, and I text back and say, you know, per the showing instructions, please have the agent call me. And so then the agent calls me. When the agent calls me, I say, are they pre-approved? These are the protocols we require, both the safety protocols and the vetting process. Yeah. And that's an interesting conversation in and of itself with that agency, because that person then says, I don't know the client. I've never met them before. I don't know who they are. I'm just scheduling the showing, and I'll be there to show the home and then talk to the agent. So I said, please, you know. And so there's just a couple of layers. Now, my experience today has been very positive. They were on the ball about, like, let me get that information for you. So they contact the lead agent that would be doing the offer writing and negotiating. And I think these sort of striated team models, what's being revealed today is, I have always been taught that our reputation is all we have in this business. These are this is the old guard that we come from, you know, in this industry, and Rod Rennick and Mike Cass and stuff, and Greg Washington for that matter. And like us, all we got is our reputation in this business. And I think that this other model is more like, you know, all you got is your buyer pipeline. That's all you got in this business. Yeah. So make a big one. And, you know, it's just coming at it from a different approach. And again, I'm not making them wrong. So, but the vetting is a little bit harder than that, and I didn't anticipate. I don't know if that's on point, really.
No, that's interesting. I'm just also hoping that, you know, it is that bottom up type of leadership that I'm seeing all over right now, in that who are we against that? They're a Goliath, right? Billions of dollars of funding, and they're all over the country, and they've got better tech and they have better things, but you know, I come back to, like, but we know how to actually take care of our people in our community right now. And hopefully you having that conversation helps send that up, that's something that, you know, hopefully nationwide eventually makes it to the top, and they kind of understand why they've got to shift with consumer safety right now. But
I think one of the things that the big companies, like electronic based companies and like Redfin, are doing is they do have protocols, and they had them early. Yeah. You know? And this is one of the things you can do when you have rooms full of leadership all over the country or whatever. You can, and they did that. They did make a protocol about showings quickly. What wasn't done was, well, we need to also respond to the listing. So it's not every listing is a spreadsheet. It's that there's actually a person here. I have people in my home. Yeah. They have needs and schedules. I need to do my job, which is to vet you for safety protocols, for an understanding of the client, for pre-approval, and for all the other things. That piece, that interaction between that agent and this one, that's where we always find frustration in those places, because our models are just different. Yeah. But we're working it out. We're working it out. We're getting everybody in.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. And then I know we also, in our office today, we saw probably the highest amount of terminations wow. that we've seen in the week. So people, for various reasons, whether buyers pulling out listings, deciding to come back on in different conditions, which I can see for some particular properties and for deals. So I think also being able to, like, work with your backup offers, being able to, like, pre-vet right now, if you're going to take I was actually thinking this morning, it's kind of dark, but this is like Christmas times 30, you know, like, you know, if a house goes on the market around the holiday times, it's serious. Like I love working during the holidays, like putting deals together. I've always bought my own home generally during that time or buy investment property because only serious sellers and only serious buyers are in the market.
That's true. Yep.
And so there's this constricting, we've got a lot of people that, to be in the market right now, to make time to do this, to work under these constraints, they've got to be pretty serious about getting the deal done. But I also think this need to vet even further, because no seller wants to be in a termination right now. Like,
yep.
Look at your background. Look how fancy you are. Oh yes, you figuring it out. Figuring it out. You
better than my basement.
You
No, it's
yeah.
it's absolutely true. There is a serious level, and I think the other side of it is like we as listing agents. So like I'm on the listing agent side now, and I have been for a little while, and that is, it has really shifted my view of the market to be like strictly listing business for the last year and a half or whatever. Like I resisted this team model thing forever. I was just like always want, but it's shifted my view. Like it is very, very important right now that our listing agents, and it's important to me as the excellence chair, that in Living Room our agents are defining what works for them and their sellers, and requiring that commitment from the other side. I mean, that's the language I'm using on the phone with buyers agents. I'm like, yeah, we can certainly get you scheduled for 67th at 5 o'clock. Here are my questions. Can you commit to the following?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Spray, spritz, club, yada, 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 yada. As well as, can you also tell me that all these things have already happened? All the virtual tour packages been reviewed by your clients, the this and that, the questions, have you looked at other kinds of homes similar? Is an outside entrance basement going to work or not? Do you know that that one bedroom is non-conforming? Do you know what that means? Does that work for them? Really, like, let's try to get a no. Try to get the no. And if you can't, cool, you're one of the maybes. Go ahead, show away. It's an amazing house.
Yeah, interesting. So, just in like a interpersonal spiritual level, this was a hard week for me. Just like this is a lot of pivoting. It's a lot of processing of things. A lot, nothing is as usual. And put that on top of being home with kids all week and social isolation and just the anxiety that's out there. We were talking a little bit about, you were sharing with me a story of just the humility of working in this market right now. And I have definitely been very humbled again and again and touched by people that didn't expect to reach out and who's really shown up and offered support. But can you share a little bit about that?
I want to, and I will. And I have this like little, I had a revelation about humility, and I also, and it's similar to patriotism in a weird way, and I want to make that connection. But first I want to hear you said that you have wonder questions. You have these like wonder questions. I want to hear about that first.
Yes. So so I'm really into this, the 15 commitments of, I should actually get the book. Oh, here. 15 commitments of conscious leadership. And I was doing some exercises out of the book this morning, and it helps ground me into what my commitment is as a leader right now. But they have a list of wonder questions in there, and I wrote some of my own. And I was wondering, what really living into our values looks like right now.
Okay.
We're a values-based organization. What does living into abundance look like right now? I wonder how abundance is showing up into my life today. I wonder how joy is showing up to my life, connection, integrity. So these wonder questions and looking for it and noticing it. And then I wonder what I could learn today that would benefit everyone. So as I was journaling this morning, I was like, you know what? Reach out to as many industry professionals as you can, because what you can gather from the leaders of these different organizations is really going to help share with everyone else, so that we have some shared reality and context that we're all coming from. And it helped me feel like, okay, every brokerage is dealing with these same things and navigating. We're all in this together. Everybody's kind of on the same page. And then I wonder what outrageous customer service could look like right now. What's outrageous customer service look like for people right now? How do we really I wonder how to really be with people right now. I
Dude,
wonder
how about
really
how about making a plan a week ago to list a fucking house this week? That's pretty outrageous, dude. I
outrageous.
mean, literally doing business right now is an outrageous thing. It is an exceptional thing to practice real estate in this climate in a way that upholds the other commitments that we have to public safety and integrity. And again, I've been in the questioning mode of, can we even do it? But like threading that needle is outrageous in and of it. So I think it just is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like once we're doing it, it's an exceptional thing. I always say this when I leave the gym. I always tell everybody, like, that was an unreasonable thing to do. You guys are all exceptional people.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
This is unreasonable that we are doing this.
yeah.
Which means we're exceptional if we're doing it well.
This morning I talked to another property management company, and I talked to my commercial property management company the day before yesterday, and what outrageous customer service for us. And all three of us were like, but of course we're going to do this. Is that if rents don't come in, we don't get paid. But the fact that rents aren't coming in means that our tenants need us more and our landlords need us more. And so we are going to be of service, and you just have to be of service, and you're not worried about getting paid. I mean, I remember that about selling real estate. The check always came at the end and surprised me. It's like, oh yeah, right. And then that happens. Like, you're not minded for that in the beginning with your, truly in this mode of service. So I think this outrageous customer service for me looks like I have one of the busiest customer service lines right now in property management, and I have this business and I don't get paid for it, and that's it's outrageous. But I also know, like, this is where I can show up and serve. And what can I do even on top of that? Like, how much more outrageous could this look like? And that brings me back
I love that question, Jenelle. I love that question. Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I have been thinking about this, like, it's almost a mantra now: be well and serve. Like, sort of stay healthy and fit and mentally grounded and whatever. We all have our ways of doing that. I have very specific ways. So that, like, there's a reason for that. Not just so that you can, like, be really stoked about yourself. Like, that's not a reason. Like, it's so you can serve. And there are people that have this extreme amount of wellness and and I think, like, privilege, and also whether it's wealth or knowledge or information or experience or health or whatever it is, like all these good things that we acquire over time in life, and we don't hoard, but we acquire them. And an extreme example of that is like Bill Gates. So Bill Gates is currently a functioning, practicing, extremely effective and hugely impactful leader in the world, like, in an amazing way. I mean, he is affecting change through a myriad of channels that are like with the moon behind me. Woo! And now we dance. And this is because he has whatever form of energy it is. It happens to be like wealth and connection and all these other things and other privilege and stuff in his life. But, like, he's still just a problem solver. Like, one day he saw a problem, him and Steve Jobs both, they saw a problem. They're like, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a problem here, that, like, everybody's going to want this thing, and, like, it's not here yet, And so they, like, solved a problem. Yeah. And now he's still, like, a problem solver. He's like, I just think that leadership like that is so inspiring to me, when people actually have health that they are then compelled to serve. When we gather things and we hoard things and we grab and we get paycheck minded instead of service minded, we are not left, even when we get it all, we're not left with a compelling force. We're not left with a result that is continual and sustainable and serving others, and it just doesn't happen. If your context is like gather and hoard and collect and push away, then, like, even when you get it all, your context is still shit. Now I'm fucked. Now I have all this stuff I have to protect.
I was also thinking about how this idea of problems, that's something I say often to our staff, is like, these just problems aren't big enough for us. I want bigger problems.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like welcoming the bigger problem, these smaller problems aren't, they're not worth the energy and the stress that we're giving them. And I kind of think right now, the bigger problem that I'm trying to stay focused on and hold as I figure out some of these smaller problems is the health of my community.
Yep.
What do I want the business landscape to look like? How it's different in 18 months than it was before the crisis? How do I want to be able to, you know, more wonder questions. I wonder how I can get more done in this time. I wonder what choices I can make today that would allow me to experience greater and greater fun and creativity. I wonder what I can learn from this, that, you know, from this time where I'm really struggling to spend all this time alone. What am I going to learn from that expands my leadership? I wonder how, you know, again, just wondering how is abundance? You know, how is that showing up in my life right now?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So humility.
Okay.
We're done?
Here, I'm going to try to be laser clear, which is impossible for Karim, as you know.
Hey.
You said the funniest thing the other day. I told you, I was like, I'm doing Twitter now. And you're like, oh my God, if you can figure out how to express yourself in like 100 characters or whatever, like you're like, Twitter's going to blow up. So far, so good. So far, I haven't done any like multi-part tweets.
Twitter or your brain is like one of the heads is going to blow.
Totally. I had every day of my career in real estate and careers prior, by the way, every single day. And this is weird to think about, but it's true. It's literally every single day. Have wondered what's next for me. And there is some like beautiful vision and growth and health to that question. Like it's like somebody always looking, that's a beautiful thing, but there's a whole lot of that that's weight and burden and just attachment to like, there's like, this isn't it.
Yeah.
I have done a whole shitload of good, I hate to say work, but I've done a lot of personal inquiry and a lot of counseling, that kind of thing, around just grounding into what's so and what's real here. And like, that's why I can build a team. That's why I can trust other people. That's why I'm successful and continue having business. But it has never really gone away. This last week, for the first time in my life, I've had moments or even like a growing sense maybe of a humility in my work life, which is this career for me is neither too big nor too small. It's just what we call right-sized, which is like one definition of humility. And right-sized meaning it's my place to do this. I'm situated from experience. I'm situated from practicing. I'm situated from my place in my community. I'm situated from my place at living room and on my team and my client base. I'm situated well to be a practitioner of real estate right now and to serve in this way. It's not better or worse than a nurse or a counselor. It's not better or worse than like somebody doing phone connections at people's houses. It's just my part. And that thing about like, this is just my part. And if I think about it that way, there's this humility that sets in where I'm just, like I said, right sized. And I think, this is like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking well suited for this. Like, I might also not want to be. I might also want to be like a different kind of like, I don't know, effective personal leader or some like whatever. But this is the suit that I wear or the not suit that I wear. These are the shoes I wear. And like, it's not good or bad. And I people have told me this 15 billion times. You probably told me this 100 times, but like, it hasn't ever sunk in. And I think this is sinking in a little bit that like, no, it's important. It's not too important. It's not the importantest. It's just important. And I liken it to only one other thing in my life that's parallel to this, which is when I watched the Ken Burns National Park series. You watch that?
No.
It's the only time in my life I felt patriotic. And it was deep patriotism. Like not for land, but for nation. So the only time I've ever felt that. I feel it occasionally with other kinds of people being of service and like the goodwill and stuff, because we're really built on this magical idea that people are going to show up and actually be helpful. We're not built on hoarding. We're built on this kind of magical idea, like you can be here, you can be like, and I'm not saying we practice it well. But anyway, so that's the only other time I've had a feeling like that where it sunk in this kind of weird cosmic way, like it was like floating on a moon.
I love that. To me, I can resonate that when I've had feelings of just deep belonging. In the
Mm,
right, I'm at the right
yeah.
place,
Huh.
equal, whole, all is all. I'm one. One is all. Kind of those.
Yeah.
That I think that for me is resonant when I hear the word patriotic, like
Yeah.
belonging to the greater good, and I have a part in that, and people depend on me, and I depend on them, and we are all in it together, which
Yeah.
has been my kind of mantra again and again for this. And I keep quoting Jeff Stevens from Abound Property, but the fact that this is so universal
Yeah.
be will be the healing that in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
team. I appreciate
Can we
that.
go,
What's that?
can we go back, let's go back to data for 30 seconds before we get off. Can we do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Houses, 2 houses hitting today, one at 600 in Southwest, one at 350 in Foster Powell. Both are getting calls, text showings beginning.
Yeah.
Going into the weekend time, which for whatever, so we'll see how those go, but both of them are getting some early attention.
Yep.
So that's my personal right now experience. One new buyer coming from one of those listings, which is an interesting thing. They're not quite pre-approved. They're getting close, whatever. So the stories of why people are purchasing right now is something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I can see why my sellers are selling. Jessica would be a better person to talk to about buyers buying, but
Yeah.
it's almost like it's not a dramatic shift. It's that the reasons people have always moved are still present. That's what's is that those actually don't go away.
Yeah.
Now, for some people, sort of like luxury thinking about maybe sort of purchasing, I think those people are on hold, and as they should be.
Yes. Yeah.
And then in terms of sale fails, can you talk about how many of those are? Because I'm curious about that data.
Oh, I didn't have a count, but Paul had said he had close to 12 terminations that he saw within our deal flow, which is about 4 times the amount that we would normally see.
Yeah. Are these our buyers or our sellers losing buyers?
Both.
Some of both.
Yeah, some of both. Just deals. Yeah, deals losing.
I think that our buyers agents, which are most of us, can I think talk to others about what vetting processes and what scrubbing processes you're using to really make sure. And it's a weird thing in sales to be like trying not to get it.
Yeah.
But I think we should be doing that in the same way that we're trying to find the buyers. Like when a buyer calls me and wants to tour, I'm going to try to find a way to make it so that they're not right for the house right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking to make them wrong. I'm looking to scrub out. It's kind of like telling people that want to have kids. Yeah, we're thinking about having kids. Yeah, don't have kids. And then if you still want to, you should totally have kids.
Yeah.
But if you're like, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence, like, no, you're not a parent yet. You know? Like, I don't know other people's experience. I just
we both had hard little ones.
Yeah, totally.
We're survivors.
Totally survived. But I think the scrubbing process, I just want to take a stand for that in our company. I want people really, really, really scrubbing. That's not to say there's anything wrong with those 12 sale fails. I'm not insinuating that people didn't scrub, but it's our reminder time to scrub.
Yeah. Really make sure.
Yeah. And we have a lot of leadership in our company around like scrubbing your database, calling people and getting in touch and like sphere marketing and all these kinds of things. There's a lot of info about that right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like the worst at all that. So I just like to talk about the right nows, that's not.
Yeah. Well, obviously you're in communication. I appreciate you being in communication with me and talking a little bit about the market. So have a great weekend and we'll be talking soon.
Great. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.